2 minutes before they finally got her, with her little head up and the skates down position. You learn so much about people when you watch them roller skate, when you watch them ice skate, when you watch them do things that they haven't really done before. There was so many of our kids, and I mean this, there were so many of our kids that I was so proud of. And you're proud on one level. There were some beautiful ice skaters. I got some videos I could show you. I mean, there were some people out there that are beautiful ice skaters. Beth Lamzanetti, really good at ice. I'm not being dumb. She's really good at ice skating. Maria Cha-Cha, I know she's athletic and good at all the stuff she does. Seems like, but there were some people that you would just watch them skate, and it was so beautiful. And then there were people that just, it seemed like every 3 to 4 feet they were on the ground. David Kafane, and I'm not saying David Kafane is a good athlete. David Kafane is a horrible ice skater. He's a good athlete. Now here's what I love though, and I'm not doing this to make fun of David, I'm truly not. From the moment he could be out there until the very end, I think he was the last person, 2 or 3 people to leave the ice. And he was not good at it. But every time he fell down, he got back up. And I'm telling you, those are the people, I mean this, those are the people that I walk away so proud of. Because you always end up with the other extreme too. We had one boy go turn his skates in because he couldn't get from the seat where you put the skates on to the rink where the ice actually was. I watched him. I tried to stop him. I tried to encourage him to let me carry him and put him on the ice or something. But he turned in his skates and never got on the ice. I watched him lace them up and get them real tight and get them just the way he thought he wanted them. He fell down like 3 times from the seat to where the ice actually was. And he turned them in. We had kids get out there and fall 1 time and then just come turn in. And I'm not making fun of those people by any means. But I'm telling you how easy it is to admire and cheer for those people who keep falling down and keep getting back up. Because every time you get back up, it's a new beginning. You get back up, you get your feet under you again, and you say, it's going to be different this time. I'm going to do better this time. I'm going to make it farther before I fall down this time. I'm going to do better this time. And it has that new beginning feeling that I love. This is one of my favorite times of the year. You're going to start back to school on Wednesday. And for the 3rd quarter, there's not a single grade reported for you. It's blank. And it's a new start. You have and if you're on the hall that does point charts, you came back to a blank point chart. And it was a new start and a new beginning. A few kids, maybe your parents call it and say, hey, you take a point for this, but not normally. Right? You come back and you have a new point chart and it's a new beginning. It's a new start. I love that idea. The calendar is flipped over and it's a new day and a new month and a new year and it's a new start. And we come up with all these New Year's resolutions, which sometimes, but nonetheless, it's a new start. And so somehow, I don't even really know how it happened that I'm preaching today. I think I was working on something else. But Mr. Geary, somehow, he and I are tag teaming this. And I am talking about Caleb today. And I don't know what he's talking about next week, but we're talking about new beginnings. And new beginnings and a new start. But yet we're tying it into the first 2 months, I think. Look at the start. So what's our theme the first 2 months?
Passages that play a part in our personal lives. Stories and passages.
Yeah. We're doing like great stories, great people in the Bible, great stories in the Bible. And this is a great story that we're going to look at today. And it's a story you may not know real well, but we're just going to read through the story of Caleb today. He is a story that has a foundation of beautiful faith. And he is a story of a guy that holds on for the hope of a new beginning, for the hope of a new start, for the hope of being able able to finally turn that page and have what it is that God wanted them to have. Let's go to the Lord in prayer, and then we're going to jump into the book of Numbers this morning. Dear Lord, just thank you so much for a beautiful day of life. Thank you for these beautiful kids and our beautiful staff and just this amazing group of people that are assembled here today. Lord, our prayer is always the same things, Lord. We want the things that are said and done and thought and felt in this place to bring you glory. We want this place to be filled with your Spirit. And as always, Lord, I want the words this morning not to be my words. As Corey's already prayed over me, I pray the same thing. Lord, I want you to fill me with your Spirit, and I want you to use me. I want to be your instrument today. I don't want to spend the next 45 minutes just saying Josh things. I want to share the things that you would have me to share, say the things that you would have me to say. So, Lord, I'm asking, as always, just for your wisdom and your discernment, for the filling of your Spirit. And I'm asking you, Lord, for the privilege to be used by you this morning. Lord, may everyone that's sitting here today, may we have open ears, and may we have open hearts, myself included, to what it is that you say through the Scripture. And just pray these things in the name, just the sweetest name we know. In the name of Jesus. Not real often we jump into the book of Numbers for much of anything. Numbers is not a book you hear a whole lot of sermons out of. But there's a great passage in Numbers that we're going to jump into this morning. Go ahead and pull up. I've got 3 different sets of scriptures I want us to go through, but they're all the story of Caleb. So we're starting in Numbers. Give me a reference on this, George. Numbers 13. Don't have my phone on me. Numbers 13, what?
Yeah. It's up there.
Mario?
What's the verse?
George?
Numbers,
Nehemiah?
Numbers 13:26 through 14:10.
Numbers 13.
Ezekiel?
Numbers 13:26 through 14:10.
They probably are answering me by now, and I just can't hear them. We're in Numbers 13:26 is where we're starting this morning. For those of you who looked at that, Numbers 13:26. The earlier part of this chapter, Moses sends the 12 men into Canaan. And they're to go in there and they're to spy out the land because the Lord says, this is the land that I'm giving you. And we know that from all the little kids' songs, right? The great kids' song. 12 men went to spy on Canaan. 10 were bad and 2 were good. I can't do the motions because that would be 4. 12 men went to spy on Canaan. 10 were bad and 2 were good. It's incredible that these 12 guys all went, they stayed together, they looked at all this stuff, they came back, and yet 10 of them said, man, there's no way we can take that land. The people that are there are too big, the cities are too big, the walls around the cities are too big, those people are just too strong. And then there were 2 that basically sat there and said, you know what? If God is giving us this, then let's go. And they basically had the idea that if God's on our side, guys, it doesn't matter who's on the other side. And we know those 2 guys. They're the only 2 that lived from then and were actually able to enter the promised land. And we know it to be Joshua and Caleb, right? They came back to Moses and Aaron and the whole Israelite community at Kadesh in the desert of Paran. There they reported to them and to the whole assembly and showed them the fruit of the land. They gave Moses this account. We went into the land to which you sent us, and it does flow with milk and honey. Here is its fruit. And they said that the grapes were so big that they had bunches of grapes, and they actually had to have poles between 2 men to carry the grapes out there. It's a Garden of Eden kind of picture right there. It is a land that is so blessed, a land not under a curse. This is an incredible thing. And all 12 of them agreed on that. All 12 of them said this is the most amazing place we've ever seen. I mean, as far as what grows there and everything that's there, wow, this is incredible. That's not where the problem was. The problem was, can we take it or not take it? It was a faith issue. Is those people bigger or is our God bigger? Is kind of where that rested, right? They gave Moses this account. It's flowing milk and honey, right? But the people who live there are powerful. The cities are fortified and very large. We even saw descendants of Anak there. The Amalekites live in the Negev. The Hittites, Jebusites, and Amorites live in the hill country. The Canaanites live near the sea and along the Jordan. And so they're there, and these first 10 guys start talking, and they're like, man, it's so amazing there. It's so beautiful there. Everything grows there. The fruit is huge. It's amazing. We would have no problem feeding us and our huge group of people that are now the Israelites. We could feed us, and it would be the most amazing place we've ever lived. And they're all agreeing there. And then these 10 guys that went to spy, not Joshua and Caleb, start saying that the problem is they're so big. The cities are so big. The walls are so big. The people themselves are even so big. Anak was believed to be the descendant of the giants, similar to what we saw with Goliath, of that same strain of people. These people that are just so much bigger and stronger than everybody else. And they sat there and said, the people are like giants. We'd be like little kids to go fight them. And their cities are huge, and there's walls around the city. How hard it is to go and attack a city with a big wall around it right during this time. And they're sitting there. And then I love this. And they're sitting there, and then it says, then Caleb silenced the people. Caleb sat there and said, stop. You're only hearing one side of the story. You're only building fear in these people. Let's talk about what else there is here. Then Caleb silenced the people before Moses, and he said, we should go up and take possession of the land, for we can certainly do it. All these 10 guys are talking how big they are, how strong they are, how scared we are. And Caleb says, it's time we go, and we go now. Call the Israelite army together, and let's march against these people now. And he's sitting there, and he had a stand-up moment. Oh, you know what I want for you? I pray over you. I pray for you to have a stand-up moment this year. A stand-up moment where everybody else is sitting there and their faith is too little and too weak, and fear has overcome them, and fear has become too much, and they have forgotten that their God is bigger than anything that they'll face. I want you to have a stand-up moment. A moment where you sit there and say, you know what, let's do this because it's right, not because it's easy. Let's do this because it's what He wants and not what we want. I want you to have a stand-up moment. A moment where you firmly stand with the line drawn in the sand, and you're on God's side and says, I don't care if nobody else is with me. Here's where I'm standing. And I'm standing here even if all of you stand there. I stand here. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back. No turning back. Though none come with me, still I will follow. A stand-up moment where you stand up because nobody else will. When you stand for what's right, not what's popular. You stand for what He wants, not what we want. And he had a stand-up moment right here. He stood up. They had the whole assembly there. He stood potentially in front of hundreds of thousands of Israelites at this time. And stood up and says, it's time that we stop talking about fear. And it's time that we have the faith and realize that if God says He'll give it to us, He'll give it to us, and it's time to go. And I love it that the men who had gone up with him said, we can't attack those people. They're stronger than we are. And they spread among the Israelites a bad report about the land they had explored. They said the land we explored devours those living in it. All the people we saw there were of great size. We saw the Nephilim there. The descendants of Anak came from Nephilim. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes. The men we saw there were so big that we felt like we were grasshoppers and they were people. We felt like there was that much of a difference in how small we were and how big they were. And they spread that, and by spreading this report, what did they spread? They spread fear. And doesn't fear spread very quickly sometimes? They spread fear in this, right? And we looked at them, we looked the same to them. So they looked at us and thought we looked like grasshoppers too. That night, all the members of the community raised their voices and wept aloud. People cried. Good. Next slide, please, guys. All the Israelites grumbled against Moses and Aaron, and the whole assembly said to them, "If only we had died in Egypt or in this wilderness. Why is the Lord bringing us up to this land, only to let us fall by the sword? Our wives and children will be taken as plunder. Wouldn't it be better for us to go back to Egypt? We should choose a leader and go back to Egypt." I don't know. I know it's because he's God. I don't know how he doesn't just destroy all people. He brought them out of slavery. And he showed them miraculous sign after miraculous sign. He met their needs day by day by day by day. And all they ever do is cry and want to go back to slavery. It's like they don't know what free looks like. Think about that. All they want to do is go back to slavery. They said, "Let's kill Moses and Aaron. Let's get us a new leader. And let's have that new leader take us back to Egypt and see if Pharaoh will take us back as slaves." Because they're so afraid.